Hi everyone. So today we are going to discuss why power sharing is desirable. So allow me 1 minute. Let me just zoom it. Hi everyone. Okay. So we had already studied about the situation in Belgium and Sri Lanka and how it turned out. So today we are going to discuss why power sharing is desirable. Okay. So this is part 2 of the power sharing of democratic politics, class 10th NCRT. So let's study why power sharing is desirable. Let me just change my pen. Okay. So yeah, first reason is very prudential. Prudential means which is calculated on the basis of logic. Okay. Why power sharing is good? Because it helps to reduce the possibility of conflict between social groups. Of course, if we think in the same mind, why anyone would want power sharing? So that the conflict between the social groups can be reduced, right? So this is one of the prudential reasons. As social conflict lead to violence and political instability, power sharing is a very good way to ensure the stability of political order. Because, of course, if the power sharing has not been in a society, then it would lead to social conflict. And when social conflicts occur, it will lead to violence and then it will lead to political instability. So, even for politically, it is not going to get any better if there are conflict at the society level itself. So, if the power is shared among the different sections of the society, then the possibility of political instability is reduced and the political order can be restored very easily. Okay, next. Imposing the majority of minority may look an attractive option in the short run, but in the long run, it undermines the unity of nation. Of course, it looks very normal, right? For example, if there is majority, let's take an example of India. In India, Hindus are in majority, so we think that India only belongs to Hindu, but India does not only belong to Hindus, not only just because it has a majority of population, right? There are minorities also, so it looks very attractive in short run. Oh, Hindus are going to impose their policy, but it is never going to work out in the long run. Okay, and it will undermine the unity of nation. The nation will be divided, there would be conflicts, there would be violence, and that will not turn out better because it will impact the common man, right? It will impact women, children, the common man. So it never turned out to be very good option. It implies better outcomes should be ensured. Of course, if we are going to go power sharing, it ensure that yeah, there would be better outcomes, there would be cooperative outcomes, right? There would be more acceptance in the society. Next is power sharing is moral. One of the moral reason is that power sharing is the essence of democracy. If we call a country that it is a democratic country, what is democracy? That it is for the people, by the people, and to the people. And democracy is usually known for the unity, right? It is known for the unity among the different section of the society. And how it can be achieved unity? By power sharing. So power sharing is a very spirit of democracy. Without power sharing, it is not going to happen. Without power sharing, you can never see a country which is democratic and which is existing. In that way, it will become a monarchy, or any authoritarianism would be restored there. So power sharing is the essence of democracy. A democratic rules involve sharing power with those affected by its exercise and who have to live with its effect. So democratic rules involve sharing power. Okay, so the power is shared with those, among those who exercise the power and who have to live with its effect. It is very common, right? In a democracy, the government has the power to rule the country, but or not all the power is given to government. Government has to take the initiatives which are good for the people who are going to affect by it, right? So the power is shared between the government and the people. If the people think, oh, this government is working very bad, it is not expected, it is corrupted, so people have the power to remove that government. within 5 years. Okay, people have the right to be consulted on how they are to be governed. If there would not have been power sharing, they cannot they cannot be consulted, they cannot be referred to how they wanted to be governed. In that way, it will only be like someone come and someone rule over us, so people opinion will not matter in the long run. A legitimate government is one where citizens, through participation, acquire a stake in the government, in the system. So, what is a legitimate government? Where the citizens, by participating, they acquire a stake in the system. By participation, they are saying that, oh, we have some stake in the system. If they are not participating, then what kind of democracy is it, right? It emphasized the very act of power sharing as valuable. So it shows that the power sharing is very valuable. So this is a moral concept. Okay. So morally, we are also told that you should also share power with different people, right? Even the monitor has to think about the class. The teacher has to think about class. Although they have the authority, but the power sharing is a very essence uh, in any organization. Even in the family, you see that the power is being shared among the different family members, right? So we have seen that why power sharing is important. First, very prudential reason. Prudential मतलब सोच समझ के लिया गया विचार कि पावर शेयरिंग होगा तो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट कम होंगे. और दूसरा मोरल रीजन है कि अगर आप डेमोक्रेसी हो तो पावर शेयरिंग तो बनता ही है. ओके, नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू स्टडी अबाउट फॉर्म्स ऑफ पावर शेयरिंग. ओके, पहले हम थोड़ा पढ़ लेते हैं कि डेमोक्रेसी है क्या और डेमोक्रेसी में पावर शेयरिंग क्यों इंपॉर्टेंट है. One basic principle of democracy is that people are the source of all political power. We studied that ki people are the complete source of political power. In a democracy, people rule themselves through the institution of self-government. People अपने आप को ही rule कर रहे हैं by the institution of self-government. Okay? In a good democratic government, due respect is given to diverse group and views that exist in a society. If a government is democratic and it is a legitimate democratic government, then it will give respect to every diverse group and the views that are existing in society. Okay, everyone has a voice in shaping the public policy, be it Muslims, be it Hindus, be it Dalits, be it women, be it youth, be it the senior. Everyone has the voice in shaping the public policy. Therefore, it is very important that political power should be distributed among the citizen as well. Even the basic idea of democracy is based on the power sharing between the representative of the government and the public, and majority of the power lies to public. Not majority, but yeah, in realistic scenario we can see the power lies to government, which they misuse. But the concept of democracy is based that the ultimate power lies to people and they can rule themselves through the right representatives. Okay, in modern democracy, power sharing arrangements can take many forms. अब हम पढ़ेंगे कि modern democracies में what are the forms that power sharing can take place. Okay, power sharing among different organs of the government. So पहला, the first thing is कि power is being shared among different organs of the government itself. So we are going to study different form of power sharing in a democratic government where the power sharing has been witnessed. So we are going to study that. The different organs of the government are legislature, executive, and judiciary. We know that the government is divided into three main organs. Legislature, which makes laws, with the parliament comes under legislature. Executive, which implements the actions, ministers, prime minister, president, they all come under executive. The chief justice of India, executive. The supreme court judges, executive. High court judges, executive. Okay, judiciary, the supreme court. Okay, note, supreme court judges come under judiciary, but the vice president, the president, the ministers, the chief minister, council of ministers, they all come under executive. Okay, the AGI, okay, the comptroller and auditor general of India, they are all executive. Okay, legislature are MPs and MLAs. Okay, the sharing power among the different organs of the government is considered horizontal. So this type of sharing power among the different organs is considered horizontal. Why? Because it allows the different organs of the government to exercise same level of power. No one is above or below the other. They are sharing the power at the same level. Okay, such a separation ensure that none of the organ can exercise unlimited power. Such a separation of power among the three organs, it ensure that the unlimited power does not lie or does not vested only in one organ. Okay, and there should be balance of power among various institutions. Okay, so for example, if ministers are doing something, if ministers are making wrong laws, let's say, so executive has to ensure that no, council of ministers will be responsible for that. Okay, and if there has been source of corruption something, so judiciary will take into place. So everything is checked. Okay, ministries and government officials exercise power. They are responsible to parliament and state assembly. So ministers and government officials which come under executive, they are responsible to parliament and state assemblies if they are not working good. Okay, if they are not working good, ministers and government officials, then they have to be answerable to parliament and state assemblies. Okay, similarly judges are appointed by executive, president, CGI. So judges, who appoint judges, the president and CGI. Okay, and they can check the function of executive or laws made by legislature. Such an arrangement is a system of checks and balances. A Supreme Court thing, the law or the act which has been passed, it is against the constitution, then Supreme Court has the full right to interfere and to stop the government because it hurts the essence of the democracy or constitution. Okay, so next we are going to study about power sharing among different levels of government, state levels, central and local government. Okay, so such type of power sharing is vertical. Okay, so first we have central level, then we have state level, then we have local level of government. Okay, so a government for the entire country is called central or union government. And there are many countries where there are no provincial and state government, but in India we have a concept of state government. In country like India, constitution clearly lays down the power among the different levels of government. Such a division of power is called vertical division of power. The power can also be decentralized to the other level of government like panchayat or municipality. Okay, Gandhiji already told that ki panchayat carries a huge uh, power. Okay, because it is the ultimate government, ultimate form of government which actually deal with the local people. Okay, such division of power was also seen in Belgium between central, state and community government. We saw that. Next we see power sharing among different social groups, religious and linguistic group. A good example of this mode of power sharing is community government in Belgium. We saw that there were different linguistic groups like French, Dutch and German in Belgium, and they were given the right to form the community government. Okay, in some countries there are constitutional and legal arrangements whereby social weaker sections and women are represented in legislature and administration. We see that women are given the right of reservation. Social weaker section like SC, ST, OBC or EWS quota, they all are given reservations in educational institution and in government jobs so that their participation can be ensured equally. Okay, this type of arrangement is meant to give the space in government and administration to diverse social group who otherwise would feel alienated from such government. Why it has been done? So that diverse social groups can be a part of government and they should not feel alienated from the government itself. Okay, that is why such type of arrangement like reservations and schemes and relaxation has been given to uh, minority groups, backward classes and women. Such an arrangement is the system of reserved constituencies in assembly and parliament of the country. So there are reserved constituencies in assembly only which can be contested by a certain people. For example, women, let's say, or Dalits, or SC, or OBC, or ST. So scheduled tribes. So there are certain constituencies in which only the members from the scheduled tribe or scheduled caste will stand and they will elect the election. This method is used to give minority communities a fair share in power, so that the minority communities should not feel alienated and they can have a fair share in the power. Okay. Next, we will see power sharing between political parties and ruling government. So power sharing arrangement can also be seen in way political parties, pressure groups and movements control or influence the government in power. We see that if the government is in power, then there are major political parties, different pressure groups, workers pressure group or women pressure groups and movements which actually exercise a control or influence in the government by either through protest or either through petitions, but they do have a influence in the government. Okay. In contemporary democracy, citizens are given freedom to choose among various contenders for power. This gives rise to competition. Such competition ensure that power does not remain in one hand. So this is very important, since we are a democratic country and we have given the right to every person to choose their own representative. So such form of freedom has also given the competition. So due to the competition, the power does not remain vested in only one hand. It changes every 5 years, right? So it gives a sense of power sharing among different political parties, different political groups also. Okay. So power is also, next we will see how power is shared among different political parties that represent different ideology and social groups. So we see that different people, different political parties come up with the ideology. Okay, and such ideologies are shared um, in the Indian political system. Like BJP represent Hinduism more, while Congress take a comprehensive um, like unity, like Gandhiji says that. Okay. So so different political parties bring with a different ideology. For example, Aam Aadmi Party comes with the common man ideology. So everyone has their own ideology and they live with this ideology and they cooperate with each other's ideology. Such power sharing is direct when political parties, so the power sharing is seen directly when the political parties form a coalition government, and if the alliance is elected. Okay, so if one political party has got some votes and another political parties has got another vote, and but they don't individually form majority, so they can form a coalition, and in such way the power sharing can be ensured, and this is such a direct way of uh, sharing power among the different political parties. Now, in democracy, we also find interest groups such as those of traders, businessmen, and industrial worker. So we see that in democracy also we have different interest group, traders, industrialist worker, businessmen. So they also put an influence on the government to take power in their to take decisions in their own benefit also, right? For example, Ambani, Adani, they will also have a share in the governmental power either through participation in governmental committee or bringing influence in the decision making process. So many industrial worker, businessman, trader, they have a governmental power. Either they can participate in governmental community committees or they can also bring influence in the decision making process either by protest or either by request or by any other forms. So yeah, so this is all done with the power sharing chapter of democratic politics. So we saw that power sharing has different forms. One of the very common form is like the power sharing among the different organs of the government, legislature, executive, judiciary. Then we have seen power sharing at the vertical level, central government, state government, and local government. This is like decentralization of power. Okay. Then we have power sharing among different religious and linguistic groups. Then we have power sharing between political parties and ruling government. So these were the all forms of power sharing, and then we also studied how the situation in Belgium and Sri Lanka turned out. Belgium gave a very good example of power sharing, whereas Sri Lanka, we saw that there were due to the major, like due to the long term conflict, it led to the civil war and it ended in 2009. So we are done with this topic. Please make sure to read the notes. The notes are prepared only from the exam point of view, and if you have any doubt, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you very much. Bye.